TSC, part of your community. TSC, it's as easy as it can be.
Telephone, TV, internet too. We make it all so easy for you. Locally owned, fast service and more. We've got what you're looking for.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.
And welcome to Spring Street, beautiful downtown St. Mary's. You are watching Rider Nation Station, and we are here this afternoon, evening, to watch the 2023 Summerfest Parade, and we're just getting started. I'm Kelly J. along with my husband Mike, and we're going to bring you the commentary, play-by-play, so to speak. And we've got Charlie Spencer and Ross Henson on camera. Rich Spencer back in the booth doing the mixing for us, and we're going to bring you some action. Mike, we're just getting started, and we've got the police department leading the charge down Spring Street. Give us a little history on the parade.
Well, a little history for dummies. This is the Bicentennial Parade. Bicentennial means 200. This is the 200th birthday of the city of St. Mary's. The city of St. Mary's was basically created in 1823 when Charles Murray and 3 of his cohorts purchased 400 acres along the banks of the St. Mary's River next to what was then Fort Barbee. Fort was built during the War of 1812. Those first 68 plats were sold to pioneer settlers who moved in to St. Mary's and settled in St. Mary's, and from that point on we had our city. So it is the 200th birthday of that original settling of St. Mary's in 1823.
Leading the charge for the parade today, as I've said, the police department, followed by the St. Mary's Township Sheriff's Department. And
there's Sheriff Michael Voorhees, brand new sheriff of Auglaize County, just took over for retired Sheriff Al Solomon of St. Mary's.
And we have the colors passing now, everyone standing and giving due respect to our great flag. And followed behind we have I thought was supposed to be the Grand Marshal's float, but looks like we've had a little mix-up. Still have the fire department to come, so we had some motorcycle mix-ins there with the CFW post.
St. Mary's Fire Department's under the leadership of Fire Chief Doug Ayers. We have 13 full-time firemen that work for the city of St. Mary's.
And we have to give great respect and thanks to our fire department. Guys are willing to risk their lives to keep others safe. And those in St. Mary's are standing and showing their respect to those first responders.
Got the fire dog mascot on the back, waving to the kids in the crowd. Got one last fire truck coming. After this last fire truck,
Now we have our Grand Marshal.
we have the Grand Marshals of this year's parade, Rich and Peggy Fowler. You talk about a power couple in St. Mary's. They got married in 1955. 2 years later, in 1957, they started Fowler's TV, which has been a staple of St. Mary's businesses in town ever since.
And Fowler's TV, one of the sponsors of the Summerfest parade, so we thank them for that.
Look at Rich, he's sporting the top hat.
Oh, looking smooth.
Peggy's got the gown and with some flowers, looking smooth. Next is the Heritage Days float, honoring those who have impacted St. Mary's. Prior to 1983, which is when Summerfest started, the festival was known as Heritage Days, hence the name Heritage Days floats, honoring people who have impacted St. Mary's.
The Summerfest has gone through a variety of name changes since then, which we'll hopefully get back to later. Now coming across is
American Manufacturing Solutions,
and
run by Jason Clark and Andy Sloan, two Memorial grads from the late 90s.
And American Manufacturing has really stepped up to become a leader in the city of St. Mary's, not only cleaning up the old Kmart building and developing that into a really manufacturing giant, but their contributions to the city have been just astounding at such an early stage in their business careers.
Not only are you doing warehousing and transportation with semis and trucks that they have, but they also have an electrical component, logistics component, 70,000 square feet of warehouse storage available. So a real up-and-coming new business in St. Mary's and a real foundation of the community. We're going to apologize ahead of time. The parade lineup that we received is not necessarily the parade lineup that is coming down the street.
we broke stride after number 2.
We got to number 2, and then the order
Sheriff's
of the parade
Department,
went sideways.
It was supposed to be. Yeah, it was supposed to be the color guard right after the fire department, and yeah, we messed up already. So
as teachers, we're used to improvising. Strange things happen, and you have to improvise. In the classroom, we're going to do the same thing here today. This looks like the St. Mary's Foundry, who is one of the sponsors of the Summerfest Parade. St. Mary's Foundry was founded in 1984. They make metal castings ranging from 500 pounds to 60,000 pounds. Angie Dine is the CEO. They've got a Corvette and an antique truck pulling some of their castings on the back of the truck. Many of the foundry workers, most of which it looks like I had in class.
And tossing out some candy every now and then to the kids along the parade route who are stuffing their bags full. I'm sure there will be some cavities made this evening.
With some real heavy metal on the back of that truck.
Yeah.
Make a hell of a paperweight.
So it's possible that this is the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep, St. Mary's Chambers of Commerce float. Director Angie Tangeman, President Patty Sullivan. Chamber of Commerce, of course, represents all of the local businesses here in town.
And one of those businesses is our next float, which is Flowers by Patricia, and owner designer Patty Sullivan has opened a store right next to the St. Mary's Theater, and really kind of part of this downtown restoration that St. Mary's has undergone the last couple of years.
Yeah, fixing up storefronts, establishing new businesses. If you haven't been to downtown St. Mary's in a number of years, you should stop by and walk up and down and check out all of the new businesses that are going in there. It's quite a restoration. They're really trying to bring back downtown St. Mary's to what it once was. It used to be a real hub of entertainment and enterprise in St. Mary's.
And we should have also added with the St. Mary's Foundry that they are also another sponsor of the Summerfest Parade. They sponsored the Heritage Days float. And we'll throw in, since we got just a couple minutes here before our next entry gets here, some other sponsors: Varsity Lanes, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Spring Street Storage, Minster Bank, Hewer Renovating, the St. Mary's Foundry, which we just saw, Laura Yelton State Farm Insurance, and that's where we're sitting right now in front of State Farm. And State Farm is also a sponsor on Rider Nation Station for every basketball tip-off during the winter sports season. We also have sponsor attorney David Weilbacher, who is often one of our either cameramen or running the production portion of Rider Nation Station during both football and basketball season. He is a sponsor of the Summerfest Parade. And he's also, I should throw in, a workhorse when it comes down to the restoration of the St. Mary's Theater. He's a really hands-on guy, putting in lots and lots of hours to make that a success. We also have Tap House at the Square, TSC, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Dr. Compton, and Guarneri's Pizzeria, and we are sitting right across from Guarneri's Pizzeria. I'm hoping that we don't get hit with the smell here. That might drive us nuts for the next hour.
Next group coming down the street are a group of St. Mary's elected officials. I see Eric Motter, City Council person, Dan Butt, City Council person. I see Doug Reason, the auditor. James Harris is driving the golf cart. He's the president of council.
And doing
Dan
a nice
Uhlenhake,
toss
City
of the
Councilman.
candy.
Thank you.
Oh, even keeping the commentators.
Got a piece of candy from Jim
Yes,
Chrisman, City
yes.
Council person. Next coming down the streets, Mayor Patrick McGowan. Longtime mayor of St. Mary's has just announced that he's going to retire at the end of this term in December. He's finishing his third term. He was first elected in 2012. What a job Mayor McGowan has done for the city. You know, during his various terms, they've modernized the electrical grid, modernized the software in the offices. He's been responsible for things like the splash pad, the St. Mary's pool, dressing areas, pedestrian bridge to the school. Has played a lead role in a lot of very important projects for the city.
Excellent vision. Next we have HDL Property Services.
HDL Property Services does landscaping, lawn care. In the winter, they plow snow. All types of property services, anything you could want to take care of your property.
Both private and commercial.
The next float, truck's pulling a trailer that's filled with our St. Mary's Summerfest royalty, including the 2023 homecoming queen, Ariel Fast.
No, Summerfest Queen.
Summerfest queen, sorry.
Yes.
Summerfest queen, Ariel Fast. Sitting alongside her is Evelyn Paulus, who's the Little Miss Summerfest of 2023.
Very, very nice looking group of young ladies.
Trailing behind them in a fancy Corvette from Bud's is 2022 Summerfest queen Molly Schlosser, just graduated, and 2022 Little Miss Summerfest Riley Daringer. just this week she crowned the brand new Summerfest queen.
And another HDL vehicle. And next, go ahead.
Coming up next is a brand new club in the Grand Lake area, the Grand Lake Jeep Club. As the name implies, if you got a Jeep, you can join the club. They do all kinds of runs and rides, some of them for charity, all around the Grand Lake and surrounding areas.
I think we passed them last week or so driving alongside the lake, and
Took us about 20 minutes
it
to
took
get
us
past
about
them on
20
the bikes.
minutes. Yeah, there were
There's
about,
probably 40 or 50 Jeeps.
yeah, yep.
They all have their tops down, so they must be confident that we will not get any rain.
Our executive producer guaranteed that we were not going to get wet. I don't know. I don't know if Rich has powers of Moses, but so far things have held off. I'm feeling a couple of
Thanks
drops right now. So
Thanks for
hopefully-
talking about
yes.
rain. We now have a couple random drops, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully things split. A couple of the Jeeps have some fairly loud mufflers, so we're getting a little feedback on that sound when they'd gun their engines. Next we have a very quiet group.
Called the Wheelmen. It's a nationwide group. We have local chapters. They collect, ride, and restore pre-World War I bicycles. And across the country, the Wheelmen have over 4,000 national members. Very appropriate that they're here for our 200-year Bicentennial. These are pre-World War I bicycles. So this is back in the time period when St. Mary's began.
And I'm saying that I would not be able to stay on that bike without falling. Even dressed appropriately for the bike rides. Next we have Jenny's Ginger Snaps. And just read that they last year celebrated their 50th anniversary. Did not realize that the Ginger Snaps had been around that long. They claim over 1,000 alumni to the Ginger Snaps Club, and basically they are dedicated to the art of baton twirling.
And the art of cuteness, I would say, as well.
Yes, yes. And I can guarantee you that I could not do that. I would fumble that baton.
Can dribble a basketball.
I can dribble a basketball.
Can't twirl a baton.
Yes. Would not last long on that one.
Next, we've got the United States Steelworkers Union, local 200L.
No, not sure. This could be St. Mary's Trucking Company.
Steelworkers, dear.
Steelworkers.
Says
okay.
on their shirt,
Okay,
Steelworkers.
got it.
There may be a few marital disputes during this broadcast, but
We made it through a whole basketball game without killing each other, so.
yeah, we can make it through a parade.
I suppose we can make it through a parade.
Almost everybody in St. Mary's has been in the Steelworkers Hall, either for prom or a wedding. Very popular venue for events. It's a voting precinct on election day. Even if you're not a member of the Steelworkers Union, it's a hall that is often used by the entire town. Again, we apologize for not knowing necessarily who's coming up right away because they're not in the order that we were given before the parade. So we're kind of winging it here, trying to figure out who's who. This is still the steel workers.
And they got a great float here to finish up the steel workers. An Uncle Sam-ish dog. I like it. And there we go, getting a little PR.
Oh, Kenzie
Yeah.
Henning's got some goodies for me.
What is a parade without a handful of gum and Tootsie Rolls? Awesome. Okay, we've got lock performance in a mammoth tractor, excuse me.
The rubber treads on that tractor are what is made, one of the many things that are made at Lock Performance, just south of town.
Rubber products of all types. They have quite a bit of sales to directly to the government, as well as various vehicle manufacturing.
Tractors and military
Yeah,
equipment often use their
agriculture.
treads.
Yeah. In the former
Located in the former Goodyear.
Goodyear facility. Next, we have Grand Lake Health Systems.
I see a bunch of nurses, I know.
Yep. And
What an asset for the town of St. Mary's to have a hospital facility as nice as Joint Township and Grand Lake Health Systems.
And they've supported the school, sponsoring the gym floor, Grand Lake Health Systems basketball court, which is what it's called during the basketball season. And just they contribute in so many ways to the community. So we're, yes, as you said, Mike, we are lucky to have them. Oh, and we should also say a big thank you to Lock Performance for allowing the parade parking. We staged the parade beginnings in their parking lot, and they allowed us to do that. So we thank them for that. Next, it looks like it might be Kroger's.
Yep. Kroger's Grocery. Kroger's Groceries started in 1883 in Cincinnati, Ohio, and is now the largest grocer in the United States. Almost 2,800 stores in 35 states.
And I'll have to say that going to Kroger's for us is kind of like going to the mall. It's a Friday evening out, and that woman is dumping candy all over the place.
Copious amounts of suckers.
Yes, there are going to be suckers for
And
everyone.
here come the kids. It's a feeding
boy.
frenzy. If you've ever been to the zoo when they feed the seals, this is similar. That was one of the largest candy dumps I've ever seen.
At first I thought that there was a hole in the bag, but she was intentionally just dumping it, which is awesome.
Coming up next, the pride of St. Mary's, the St. Mary's All Brass
No, we've got
Marching Band.
we got McDonald's first. You can't forget McDonald's. The Monfort family, McDonald's, locations everywhere.
St. Mary's All Brass Band under the leadership of Director Madeline M. Frankenhauser. And a new assistant director this year, Howie Spencer.
I gave Howie a hard time earlier and said, hey, they better be playing a song when they go in front of our cameras. I don't want any of this just, tapping the drums. And I said that could be a problem because Howie was a drum guy. And so, the percussions like to show off the percussions. So great to hear that. We have some older kids scooping in on the
Some kids
overflow.
crossing from one side of the street to the other, which I think is a definite violation of parade protocol. You are not allowed to cross the street to get candy. Where's the St. Mary's Police Department when we need them? Next comes the St. Mary's Rider cheerleading team, co-coached by Amanda McAvoy and Tina Miller. Our camera girl, Charlie Spencer, was once a member of this team marching down this very parade.
Next, it looks like we have the Rough Rider football team.
They open up next Friday versus the St. Henry Redskins. Just played a scrimmage last night versus Marion Local and Fort Laramie.
They are at St. Henry for the first
Wave
game.
to the camera. I passed most of these kids in government class, so that's the reason they're sitting on that float.
We got
Rocky the Rough Rider on the back.
in the back, yeah.
Some JV Rough Riders trailing behind.
Yeah, they're forced to walk. Give them a couple of years and then they can ride on the float.
Seniority has its privileges.
Next we have the Memorial High School class of 1973. They are having their 50-year reunion this year.
Want to take a little trip back to 1973? Principal, Quentin Clark. Guidance counselors, Roger Duncan and Kay Albert. Class president, Ron Ginter, and valedictorian, I think. They celebrated a perfect 10-0 season in football that year, the first undefeated season in MHS history. Legendary coach Skip Bachman earned his 100th victory in 1973.
Homecoming queen, Chris Wibbler. And on the night of the homecoming game, St. Mary's defeated Wapak 16-6. And
here's a float with a number of members of the class of 1973.
Coach Larry Gruber was also coaching, was still coaching the wrestling team that year. They were 10-2 that season.
I think Larry Gruber coached the wrestling team in 1823.
He may have.
When the city was founded, actually. He's Methuselah, basically.
And they look like they are having a great time on the float.
Got some tie-dye, some peace signs, some bell-bottom jeans. Holy cow.
Those are sweet. Those are sweet.
Welcome to 1973.
Hopefully Ross can get a close-up of those bell bottoms.
I wasn't even in elementary school yet. The next Jeep right in front of us is from the Eagle Loan Company. They have offices in Salina and Wapakoneta. They're a payday loan company. Connect customers with over 100 plus lenders to find the most affordable loan possible. They got a very patriotic theme.
I love
got a
the
bald eagle. Bald eagle in the back.
Eagle.
I think I've seen him flying over the lake a few times.
Next we have SMART, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
SMART is an acronym. S-M-A-R-T stands for St. Mary's Area Resource Team. They were created to create exposure for our downtown theater. They're basically trying to promote growth in the downtown area. They are one of the linchpins in the restoration of downtown St. Mary's.
think we're also getting a little taste of band supporting Roots Pub. Roots Pub, which was formerly the CNC Loft and Lounge. And
they got Bloods on lead guitar.
Treating us to a little 38 special, and those guys sound good.
Next, the Ohio Department of Transportation has a snowplow here. The part we're interested in is the front of the snowplow. That's part of the Paint the Plow program. ODOT allows schools and nonprofits to paint snowplows. Our St. Mary's Middle School and I think some high school art members help paint the front of that plow. Creative idea to decorate an otherwise plain piece of equipment.
Next we have St. Mary's Tailgate for Cancer. And a big deal here in St. Mary's.
There's the queen of the Tailgate for Cancer, Tracy Lau. They've raised over $1.7 million in the last 14 years. This year's event is the 15th annual Tailgate for Cancer. It'll be held September 23rd of this year when Ohio State plays Notre Dame.
And as usual, they'll have a lot of different events. They'll have a 5K run, a balloon launch, obviously live entertainment.
Raffles, auctions.
Yes, all of those to raise funds for a great cause. So St. Mary's Tailgate for Cancer, still getting a few things.
A lot of years, looking at their past history, a lot of their years they've raised $200,000 in a single year. If they do that this year, they could get very close to crossing the $2 million mark in 15 years of events. That's very impressive. What a worthy cause. Yeah, name a person in St. Mary's who hasn't been affected by cancer in some way, them or their families or relatives or friends.
Right.
Got Brutus Buckeye
sitting with the Schaff Auto Sales vehicle. And I'll always remember Schaff Auto with the line, the place you'll send your friends.
The place you'll send your friends.
Yes, the place you'll send your friends. And they are another sponsor of the Summerfest parade. They also sponsor replays on Rider Nation Station basketball broadcasts.
They're owned by Emily and Todd Klosterman, and Emily Klosterman is the daughter of the late Larry Schaff, who founded Schaff Auto Sales. Next is Evans Home Repair. Located in Wapakoneta, they repair windows, doors, roofing, siding, gutters. All your home improvement needs. See Evans Home Improvement in Wapakoneta.
And I hate to jinx anything here, but those dark clouds that were there.
The sun's starting to peek out.
Yeah. What a beautiful evening for the parade. And Rich Spencer did have the magic touch. I'm gonna officially have to start calling him Moses.
Meteorological Moses. Trying to figure out who we have next.
Still have a little bit of Evans Home Improvement.
Oh, this
here.
has got to be Grand Lake Skate. I must not be very smart. They're all wearing roller skates and inline skates. Grand Lake Skate. It's been closed all winter, all summer, out of season, but it will open soon on September the 8th. Open for skating. They host a lot of parties, birthday parties.
And boy, these little kids are just wheeling around here. You'd be falling on your butt in
They're
no
making
time.
my ankles are aching just watching some of the inline skating.
Yeah, they're making their way down the parade route probably pretty easily.
Again, they're reopening on September 8th. Next up, the pride of New Knoxville, the little city. The Knoxville Ranger Band.
We also have a quick True Blue transport vehicle. True Blue was a non-emergency medical transport van that operating out of the old Parker Hannafin building. The Knoxville Band, small but mighty.
Much like the city,
Yes.
little city.
And they got to get their marching in during the fall, during parades, because they don't have a football team.
Undefeated since 1921, I think, is the T-shirt I see.
Next up, we have the St. Mary's Nazarene Church.
Opened here in town in 1941. There's the head pastor, Eric Anderson.
Located on Indiana Avenue.
Throwing out cold candy
and
bar
see,
treats.
See, that was taunting me. They launched a Twix candy bar, and you know I love Twix candy bars. And it's right there at my feet, just out of reach.
Too bad a 5-year-old already picked it up.
Yeah, I know. That or that little 1.5-year-old down there that's barely walking. She'll have it in no time.
The next truck has representatives from the Darke County Fair.
My old stomping
Queens and runner-up.
ground.
You need to broadcast this. You were an old Darke County girl.
Yes, I grew up in Arcanum in southern Darke County.
Next, since I'm an ex-government teacher, retired government teacher, I'll take this one. This is State Representative Angie King. There's Angie, with her patriotic hat on. She is serving her first term in the Ohio House of Representatives. She represents the 84th House District, which is all of Mercer County, northern Darke, and southern Auglaize. So brand new state representative, Angie King.
And I remember Angie King in the parade when she was running for office.
Next is a Cisco Realty float, celebrating the Battle of Iwo Jima. Beryl and Denise Cisco, been in St. Mary's for over 25 years. On
And
the corner of Wayne and Spring.
They're famous for their decorations and, honoring.
Halloween, Easter, Christmas, you
and,
name it.
And the Battle of Iwo Jima float is just spectacular there. That's really, really nice.
Next is a transport bus from Van Crest Retirement Home here in St. Mary's. Van Crest was originally founded in 1943 in Van Wert, hence the name Van Crest. But they have opened up a retirement facility here in St. Mary's and just recently added on in the last couple years. A wonderful retirement facility out by the hospital.
Again, kind of building on the medical area that we have out there by the hospital. We're going to have to probably wait till we get to the back of this one to see with the birthday cake. Oh, the public library.
St. Mary's Community Public Library. Started in 1921. The building they're in now was built in 1981. This is the Kiwanis, St. Mary's Kiwanis Service Organization, Service Club. Very impressive canal boat float. They're also the sponsors of the Walk with Nature Fall Festival, held this year on October 15th. That's always a fun event to go to.
If you haven't been out to the Walk with Nature in the fall, you need to go. It's really evolved into a really nice event.
I think this is Arts Place, which we are sitting right next to. Promotes the arts here in town.
One of those things that neither one of us was gifted with.
Next comes the Auglaize County Horsemen's Council. Their slogan is "Where horsemen help horsemen." Leading the little pony, which is their mascot Bunsey, is the 2023 Equine Queen Morgan Remfer, who I had in class 2 years ago. Wave, Morgan. There's Bunsey the pony.
Who
doesn't
like
love a pony?
Who doesn't like a pony?
Who would ever leave a pony country to move to a country that doesn't have ponies?
I'm not sure this pony is going to win at the fair in any races.
He looks to be a little gassed at this point.
Yes, but his legs are a little short to be competing with the real horses.
Got the Pooper Scoopers trailing behind. Just in case there's any accidents.
And I will say these horses are well decorated. I'm sure some of them were competing in events at the All-Glaze County Fair last week. Next up we have the Sister City organization. Hit us with some info there, Mike.
Our relationship with Awaji City started in 1985. We sent over 500 individuals for homestays in Japan. And of course, our Sister City connection has not only has benefited the individuals who've went there and had great cultural experiences, but also has benefited the town in helping to bring 3 Japanese businesses to St. Mary's. Kosai, C-Tex, and Muratech all can kind of trace their roots to Awaji City connection, Sister City connection.
Next up, we have Joe Hurlbert. And Joe Hurlbert being out there is the reason why.
Jumping Joe Hurlbert. That's jumping Joe Hurlbert.
That's the reason why the Jays are here today. Joe and his wife Bev did this last year.
Joe's a lifelong St. Mary's resident, class of 1974. He's retired now, but worked for over 30-plus years in the city's water department. He's also has over 30 years of broadcasting experience, K94, and with Rider Nation Station, who we are broadcasting for today.
Normally he's the main guy on football and basketball broadcasts.
He's the Republican mayoral candidate this year. Democratic candidate is Ashley Randolph, city council person, and there's just an independent write-in candidate who just entered, Richard Kellemeyer. So we will elect a new mayor this November.
We've got a little Stevie Nicks playing on the speakers. You know I love Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, and this looks like it's Nelson's Body Shop. Oh, great throw.
Close enough.
Great throw there.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a cutie.
Nelson's Body Shop, family-owned body shop in St. Mary's since 1926, located on Wayne Street. Next, I see the Lady Rider soccer program. And what a little mini dynasty they've created the last few years.
They have been enormously successful.
Regional appearances, single-digit losses for numerous years. Very impressive team. And joining the team in the float is the Summerfest queen, Ariel Fast. She got off of her float, got back on her with her teammates later on the float. Good for Ariel. Ariel is quite the soccer player. She just recently signed a Division I full-ride scholarship with Wright State University. So good luck, Ariel. Not only in the soccer season, but next year at Wright State.
The soccer team's also in charge of the duck races here at the Summerfest.
Next up is Wayne Street Church. Pastor Tim Benjamin's leading the way, passing out candy.
And playing some really, really good music as they go by us.
They're followed, walking by the Family Life Center of All-Glaze County. Education and support services to support pregnancy and the sanctity of life in the All-Glaze County area.
And they are sponsoring the Summerfest 5K run.
Next, we got a couple cars. This is the brand new Excite Car Group. They have over 1,000 members in the state of Ohio and just recently started in our area, a chapter in our area.
Next up, we have the Spirit EMS truck. And Spirit is in charge of medical transports.
Moving people from one hospital to another.
We got True Blue for the non-emergency and them for the emergency.
It's like the St. Mary's Colts Midget League football team on board this truck. Midget League football.
A mainstay in St. Mary's. The fall it's hitting, and as you said earlier, the football season is starting next week for the high school. All the midget teams, I've seen them out.
Seen them out practicing already at Casey
yeah.
Geiger. Yep, getting ready for their seasons.
So yeah, they're getting ready, and volleyball has been hard at it at the high school. Tennis, golf, I think, had a match this past Tuesday, so fall sports are definitely well underway here in St. Mary's. My guess is we have another one of the teams here.
This is,
the Rams.
Rams.
Looks like the Rams.
St. Mary's Rams,
Yep.
another of our Little League football team. There's T. Thistle on the back.
Those guys are probably eyeing the candy, saying
St. Mary's future football athletes and cheerleaders.
Saying, I hope I get some candy up here instead of down there. I'll go with this one.
You're a Dark County girl. This is
Dark
yours.
County, the Bradford Marching Band, the Railroaders.
How many people out there knew that Bradford's mascot was the Railroaders? I bet not many.
Probably not many. The Bradford Railroaders, formerly in the Cross County Conference, which was the same conference as my school. Now they are in the third year of membership in the Western Ohio Athletic Conference. They had a little shuffling around of all of their teams in the last couple of years. So the Railroaders making the trip north.
All the way from Dark County.
All the way from Dark County.
Bradford's famous, they don't have a Summerfest, they have a Pumpkin Fest.
Good memory.
Which is
And
draws big crowds.
My freshman, sophomore basketball coach, the late Larry Patrick, was a Bradford.
Next is St. Mary's Cub Scouts, Pack 36. Got a nice tent set up on their float. Some young Cub Scouts on there. Learning camping, survival skills, patriotism, Americanism. Great organization for shaping the youth of tomorrow. Next golf cart, I think, is Teresa Roberts in a Americana decorated golf cart. She is just a community member who decided to come out and pass out candy.
Good for
That's
her.
what St. Mary's is all about.
Did
That's
that
why
take
we
a-
live in St. Mary's. You think you find something like that in New York City? Come on.
Next we have from just south of St. Mary's, the Minster Oktoberfest float. And we have a couple of former queens. Elena Hogenkamp was 2023 Miss Oktoberfest, and Little Miss Oktoberfest, Olivia Boger.
The float's playing Roll Out the Barrel. Are they implying that there may be beer served at the Minster Oktoberfest this year?
I don't know.
Okay. Is that just a rumor?
I don't know if they wanted me to dance, but they're probably not asking for the right thing. Next we have Scott Ross Realty. Scott is in addition to his selling real estate, one of the assistant bowling coaches for Memorial High School and a former golf coach for Memorial High School.
Big tow truck with American flag on the back. That's Tom's Towing and Repair. right here in St. Mary's, located on Koenig Road. After Tom's towing in a golf cart, we've got
Gertie's Candy Store.
Ashley Randolph. She's got an Ashley Randolph for Mayor sign on it. It's Gertie's Candy Store here in St. Mary's. Brand new candy store that just opened up. Has all kinds of both modern candy and even some old school candy.
I went in there and on a First Friday and grabbed some Turkish taffy. Boy, one of those I hadn't seen in years. Love that stuff. And I even saw they had Chuckles. So anytime you want some old school candy or something new, drop in to Gertie's Candy Store.
Next is Plus One Professionals Real Estate. Owner Steve McInbaugh, one of the leading realtors here in the St. Mary's area.
And there is just the tiniest little baby. Oh, that
newborn baby
has
sitting
to be
inside.
very
Holy
newborn.
cow.
Oh my.
That baby's fresh. You can still smell that new baby smell.
Wow.
Even if you don't need a house, stop at Plus One. You can see the world's tallest realtor, Mark Ashman, former St. Mary's basketball great, 6'10".
Got Dave Wright also on there from real estate sales and great barbecue. This one is not on our list. The Black Swamp Mobile Welding and Fabrication. Great looking float. Got to give him, and it won the Parade Chairman's Award.
This about has to be.
Maybe the
No, this is
seniors'
8th grade.
grade
This is the
team.
8th grade football
Yes.
team. Thank you, sir. Oh, I was hoping for candy. I don't want a fist bump. I want some candy.
The ones they need to be bribing are our camera guys here. Charlie and Ross, they're having to work pretty hard.
Is this the Ford Avatar truck? I think so. This is the Ford Avatar truck.
I don't know if that's because of the color, the style, or something that was in the movie. I don't know.
Civil War General Dave Weilbacher walking down the street. You know there has to be a traitor in every crowd.
And he's being accompanied, shooting off some confetti bombs.
This is the Friends of the St. Mary's Theater and Grand Opera House.
They were the Chamber President's Award winners.
Dressed bunch of Civil War rebels.
A bunch of rebels.
Doug Spencer.
I think
Dave Weilbacher posing for the camera.
I think that's probably why they haven't shaved in a while. They had to look the part for the Civil War. And there are some theater things that are upcoming.
Yeah, coming Friday, August 18th at 4 o'clock, there's a Civil War exhibition, a lecture on the Civil War and Civil War period concert. Next Saturday and Sunday, Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m., there is a play called The Long Journey Home that is about the Charles Cruzy story. He's a Civil War veteran from St. Mary's who wrote a series of letters back home, which eventually was turned into a book, and now has been made into a play. Again, next Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 2 p.m. This play will be at the Grand Lake Opera House. We even have a little bit of a movie star presence there. Most of the actors are all St. Mary's people, but it will be narrated by Gary Sandy. Old school TV aficionados may recognize him. Gary Sandy was on WKRP Cincinnati back in the 70s and 80s. So if you want to see a great play and learn a little bit about St. Mary's and Civil War history, that's coming up next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 18th, 19th, and 20th. St. Mary's Theater's slogan is, "One cannot do it alone, but many together can make it grand."
I wish we had more time here this afternoon to go into all of the great things that are happening at the St. Mary's Theater. Can't say enough about the renovations and the development that's going on there. Next, we have what was simply given to us as antique tractors.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably affiliated with Auglaize County's Antique Tractor Show, which always happens at the Auglaize County Fairgrounds every year, bringing in tractors from all over the Midwest. We got some old school ones here. That's a Minneapolis Moline. You don't see those around anymore. It's come all the way from Mount Vernon, Ohio. I think that's Sean Mann driving that tractor, if I remember. Following that is something near and dear to my heart, a John Deere 4020. That is the family tractor from the J family farm that I drove countless hours.
Many years ago.
Many years ago, and for countless hours I was on that. I had a little boom box, bungee corded on that wheel well there. That brings back memories.
Some of them probably not so good memories.
Well,
a lot of work.
Don't tell Dad, but some of it may have been a little tedious. Minneapolis Moline, an International, red International.
Now this thing in the back of this International tractor, the old bush hog mower.
Yeah, you had experience on your farm with that.
That was like my whole life. Like, you got some mowing to do today.
He had to mow the meadow. Series of Internationals and a good old Farmall coming down the street. Of all the old tractors, I see more of those Farmalls than any other one, and they always look in great shape.
And kind of bringing up the rear of the tractors is a one front wheel tractor. I don't know what these are called, but it's got unbelievable turning ability. It's almost like a zero radius mower kind of turn.
A Silver King. Wow, you don't see many Silver King tractors around anymore. That is a dinosaur. How many operating Silver Kings are there in Auglaize County?
Like I said, that thing can do a circle in just absolutely no space whatsoever.
Another Farmall coming down the street. 1949 Farmall C. Followed by a 1950 Farmall Cub, sorry. Old school manure spreader.
The Sieverts from right here in St. Mary's, Ohio. Next we have Wilson Health from
Sydney Hospital
from down
System.
in Sydney.
Your sister works there.
My sister works there. And next we have the co-chairs.
Co-chairs
Of the Summerfest.
The 200th
parade.
Bicentennial Summerfest.
Woo.
Providing us with bicentennial hats, Zach and Stacy Farrell.
Co-chairs from the whole Summerfest production.
And that is a job that goes year round. They start
Yes.
as soon as a couple weeks after this festival's over, they start planning. It is a year-round process to put together what you see. Great job, Zach and Stacy Farrell. Another wonderful Summerfest parade.
And you will, I'm sure, hear Zach on Rider Nation Station here in the upcoming weeks, as he is normally the color man working with Joe Hurlburt for Rough Rider football.
Pickup truck in front of us from the St. Mary's Rotary Service Organization. Community service, vocational service, youth service. They do Buckeye Boys State, presidential classroom, 4-H programs, countless projects for community service. Vital cog in the city of St. Mary's.
And bringing up the rear, finishing up the parade.
Finishing off the parade, the St. Mary's Township Fire Department.
And we often kind of forget about the Township Fire Department, but they are equally as important as the city fire department. They are in charge of the township areas, which is like Villanova, Southmore Shores, Sandy Beach, and you will also see them on bigger fires coming in and working hand in hand with the city police or fire department. So yeah, we're lucky to have two such great departments right here. And as looks like we're kind of wrapping things up, I would like to, Mike, one more time go over our sponsors, some of the sponsors who were not in the parade, and just kind of recap everybody, because without those sponsors, none of this would be possible.
That's in addition to the people we mentioned during the parade. Sponsors not in the parade were Varsity Lanes, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Spring Street Storage, Minster Bank, Hewer Renovating, St. Mary's Foundry, Laura Yelton State Farm, Attorney Dave Weilbacher, the Confederate officer that we saw earlier, the Tap House at the Square in St. Mary's, TSC, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Dr. Mike Compton, chiropractor, and right across the street, Guarneri's Pizza.
Well, whatever Rich Spencer did, he performed a miracle. We had maybe like 3 or 4 drops of water and then nothing. So he's got some pull. Whenever we have a big baseball game or a football game and weather's threatening, we're going to have to give him a call. He worked his magic this afternoon.
And what a great parade, a great showcase for St. Mary's and everything that St. Mary's has to offer. What a great way to celebrate our city's bicentennial, the 200-year birthday of the city of St. Mary's.
We want to thank everyone for coming out to support the parade, to watch things and get lots of candy and hopefully very few cavities for the kids. But thanks for coming out and just showing our pride in St. Mary's. We would encourage everyone to kind of shuffle on across the street and enjoy the rest of the festivities.
Got fireworks tonight at 10 o'clock.
Yep, and I think softball maybe tomorrow, or
community worship service
yep.
is tomorrow morning.
And
there's a beer judging contest tomorrow afternoon. You can get a piece of St. Mary's Bicentennial cake at the St. Mary's Bank here downtown tomorrow afternoon. So there's all kinds of activities going on to celebrate St. Mary's 200th birthday.
Thanks for tuning in to Rider Nation Station. Rider Nation Station will be back in action next Friday versus St. Henry. And I've just been corrected. We will not be doing that game at St. Henry. Yes, I'm being told hopefully we'll be okay for the Salina game. So for Mike J., Kelly J., Charlie Spencer, Ross Henchen, Rich Spencer, and Susan Spencer, thanks everybody for tuning in, and good night.
of your community. TSC, it's as easy as it can be.
Telephone, TV, internet too. We make it all so easy for you. Locally owned, fast service and more. We've got what you're looking for.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.